Hello everyone, I'm excited to be making this video. I know a lot of you guys watch my shorts and I want to give you some more insight, maybe some mishaps behind the scenes on my top 10 favorite trick shots. Now these are my favorite trick shots for different reasons. Some of these are more difficult, some are more unique. So in no particular order, let's get into that top 10 list now. First up, we have our ping pong pan shot. Now the reason I set it up like this was one, visually I thought it looked better. But two, I've tried to hit these in a row and just have it end in a mini solo cup, and it's impossible, almost impossible. They always, one goes in and one doesn't. So I designed this to have the bigger cups first, and then to follow down the tape measures and land in the mini cup. Unfortunately, even when it's directly in line like that, there were so many times that I got one cup to go in and one cup just bounces right out. I think I showed some of that on my YouTube Shorts fail compilations. This trick shot ended up being very difficult, but anytime you use both hands, I think it's a very special video for a trick shot. So super happy how that one came out. Now on to number two. All right, this next video up is the 3 in a row pong cup, frisbee throw, basketball shot. One thing I've learned from filming trick shots is there's always one thing you didn't account for. In this case, it was the wind. And actually the hardest shot in this whole take was the pong shot because there was a little bit of wind and it kept taking the ball. I was really happy with how this came out. I know some people mentioned it wasn't a 3-pointer that I stepped on the line, and they would be right, it was a 2-pointer. Next time I'll make sure my foot doesn't cross the line, but there's always something you can improve in every video. This next trick shot I wanted to do was all on these little mini drums. Now I carry a ping pong ball everywhere I go, so if I'm at a store I can bounce it off of it and see if it would work. I had this idea for a long time. I finally got a chance to test it in the store and it worked, so I had to do it. The hardest challenge with this one was the cymbal actually, and I thought it would be really cool to have it sound almost like a drum fill and then hit the cymbal and go in. But that cymbal is so difficult. I did eventually get it, but when it hits the cymbal, it can kind of just roll off in any direction. So that one was definitely more luck than skill, but super happy with it. Up next, we have the exercise rope pong shot. This one was super unique. I've never seen anybody else do it, and I knew if you use those exercise ropes, it would do the big wave motion. So I put a little cap on there. I had it whip the ball up into the air, and eventually I landed it in the pong cup. That one was difficult. I tried this for probably most of the day before I got it to go in. It just was so erratic. Okay, every once in a while I like to get the dog included, and she knocks the ball down the stairs into the red buckets. What made this shot so special is on the second bucket, our dog just used her paw and kicked the ball down the stairs, which she's never really done before. And I was just praying that it would go into one of the buckets, and it did. So I thought that was outstanding. I was so proud of her, and that trick shot has a special place in my heart now. Okay, moving on. So typically I film all my trick shots by myself on a tripod, but there's some instances where I really need somebody else. So I've tried to film this a couple of times by myself. It didn't work. This is where you do a forehand flick, frisbee throw, and then a backhand throw and catch. So shout out to my mom. She helps me film sometimes when I need her, and she does great. So we went to the skate park and found this bowl. So she got in the bowl, she followed the frisbee each way with the camera, and we finally got the shot we really wanted. This is another shot that I filmed with my mom, and we had some mishaps on this one. First of all, the ring. I was using a hula hoop first, and it's just so hard to see it that we ended up coming up with a bigger, brighter ring that looked a lot better on camera. You almost have to be like a football quarterback, because as soon as you throw it up, you got to get behind it. So we spent quite a while on this. We almost gave up, but just before we're leaving for the day, we got it done. Here's another unique trick shot. I have this machine that I got from a thrift store, and it levitates these foam balls. So I always try to come up with different ways to knock them down. I thought throwing cards probably looks the coolest. This is one of those times where it looks harder than it really is. It actually only took me 5 to 10 minutes to knock all the foam balls down with the playing cards. This next clip's actually from our 50 trick shots in 1 week challenge, and more specifically, our food challenge trick shots. So here I'm throwing a Tic Tac into the opening of the Tic Tac container. So it obviously was a very hard one. It's very small, But also what happened is over time, your fingers would get stickier and stickier. Every time I went to throw it, it would stick a little bit and go off course. Definitely more difficult than most shots, but super satisfying when it happened. So of all my trick shots, this one right here is my personal favorite of all time. This is where I did 10 palm cups in a row, no cuts, no edits, just rapid fire 10 in a row. So this was definitely a trick shot where the skill outweighed the luck. So for me, this was very rewarding and one of my all-time favorites.